Hey guys, what's going on? Drangus here, and I'm here looking at a 2018 Street Triple R. Okay, so there's two models to the Street Triple. This is the R, and that is the RS. We'll talk about the differences between the two. Okay, firstly, in looking at the R, as of 2017, you're getting a 765cc triple, which in this case is putting out quite a bit more power, 116 horsepower at peak and 57 foot-pounds of torque. So that's quite a lot of pep for a bike that only weighs, well, dry about 366 pounds. I guess if you want to throw the gas in, since it's a 4.6 gallon tank, about 404 pounds. So what is this bike basically? Well, this bike is a naked sport bike. It's a naked version of the Daytona basically, and this is the road model. So there's the road model and then the race model. So it's sort of upright sitting, kind of comfortable, but you're getting a sport bike's platform basically. Now if you're thinking about this bike, this one's going to run you about $11,450 or such. It's really a good bang for the buck. Now as you see on here, we do have Brembo brakes. So a bike comes standard with really good brakes. Now if you step up to the RS model, it's an upgraded set of Brembos. But these should suffice. Another thing different between the R and the RS is going to be the gearing. The gearing on the RS allows it to have a little more horsepower out of the same engine. It reaches its peak torque at a higher RPM, so it really is designed for a more racing situation. You could ride either one on the road though. They're both very road legal. The seat height on this bike comes in at around 32 inches. However, if you aren't a lanky guy like me, then they do have a low model, and I think that's around 30 inches, 30.2, something like that. So you're getting about 1.8 inches difference in clearance there. Now with the 2018, you do get the excellent Tft Screen that I talked about in the Tiger review. It looks really cool. It's totally programmable, just like the Tiger. Here's your joystick down here that allows you to toggle between settings. It's got rider modes here. You've got rain, road, and sport, and a custom setup where you can make your own. Your own would have to do with traction control and ABS settings. If you hit this button here, you go to home, and it'll take you to, I'll hit it real quick. It'll take you to the setup screen. This thing really is a computer. So basically, in 2019, there's going to be some updates to the TFT to include Bluetooth compatibility, so don't be surprised if you can't adjust this setting on your phone or something, as well as potentially have Google Maps and stuff like that. Now, if you're trying to make up your mind between the Street Triple R and the Street Triple RS, you're gonna have to ask yourself a couple of things. What are your plans with the bike? Some other things that you get on the RS is, like I said, the upgraded front brake. You're also getting an upgraded rear suspension. It's an Öhlins rear suspension on this, so it's tunable, adjustable. It's got additional features, things like that. You get a little more power, but essentially they're the same bike. And if you're just riding around town and you like a little bit of sport, do you like a little spice to your life, probably R will do you just fine. Alright, so let's start her up so you can hear this kitten purr. So, a little clutch action, and alright, so there's your triple calm but powerful purr. Alright, that sounds good to me. Hey guys, so we are on the bike. And I have to say, the first thing I noticed is that as smooth as the Tiger was, this might be smoother. The weight is barely noticeable. For some reason, the center of gravity is very low. And I just noticed just sort of handling the bike between your legs, it's like nothing's there. At this light, all sort of the brakes are very good. It just weighs like nothing. So I see this as already this would be a pretty good commuter around town bike. And as far as the smoothness of this engine, I mean, at this point I'm really not surprised. The Triple is just one of the smoothest engines I think in the history of motorcycling. It's really approaching the flat six of a Goldwing. It's so fun. I'm not used to a bike that is so peppy. I ride an older Tiger 1200, and it's got loads of power. But right off the line, this thing just wants to go. I mean, it's like there's no resistance on it. And you know, this bike, it probably is, it's getting near half the weight of my Tiger 1200, so you know, that's to be expected. By the way, this is December. I mean, it's cold as hell, but what a beautiful day to be riding. I want to say a special thanks to my friends at Cascade Moto for continuing to loan me bikes to ride and you know, rant on about. Not really rant, haven't ridden one I didn't like. And it's not just because they let me ride the bike. If I didn't like Triumphs, I wouldn't own one. Alright, brakes are, oh, they're really tight. They're good. Clutch is very light, easy to pull, just like on the Tiger 800. And I want you to think about the price of this bike for a minute and what you're getting. It's really a lot of bike. You know, you're getting a bike that's got some pretty high-tech features, and the price is not bad at all. I mean, around 11,000. I mean, gosh, can you buy a t-shirt at a Harley dealership for less than 11,000? I don't know. Now, this bike's shifter, very smooth. One thing I will say is that if you were considering the RS model, one other feature you're going to be getting is a quick upshift. So that means that you don't have to hold the clutch at all. You just shift up with your foot, and she's good to go. Now, it doesn't have a downshift, but it does have an upshift. This bike does not. It does have a slip assist, which, you know, I said in another video, all bikes should have that. On the topic of lane splitting, I won't be doing it. That said, can you lane split this bike? I would say highly likely. I would do it without hesitation. Now I will say this: typically on a sport bike, the widest thing on the bike is your shoulders. That's, you know, on this bike the mirrors are at about where your elbows are. So, you know, that's something you have to keep in mind. If it was really tight streets, you know, an old part of town or something, it might be a limiting factor. So you're not the widest thing on the bike in this case, unless you're some kind of football player with very wide shoulders. So keep that in mind, although I would do it. So we're going to take our usual tour through the country. I know you see the same roads on my channel. That's because I know the roads, and I can put the bike through the tests that I want. Real quick though, while I'm still in town, I want to kind of mention, this is important because I'm in stop and go traffic right now. The sitting position on this bike is quite comfortable. Okay, it's not in a full upright position. I'm sort of halfway between a sport position and a upright, but I like it. You know, with a little wind on you, it pushes you up. The wind holds you up nicely, but you don't have to be going too fast to hit that. Now that said, this bike, you can pull up videos online, and people are really, you know, ringing these things through the track like you can't believe. And on the RS model, I've seen just guys, you know, they're dragging their knees. I don't do that, but you can do that on this bike. If I was the guy that was going to do that, I probably would get the RS. So around town, this is a good bike. You know, as long as you have a backpack so you can get your groceries, it's good, and the fuel mileage on it is really quite good too. So for a cheap way to get around, this could be it. Now, you do also get traction control, like I said, and ABS, and you can turn those things off. But the reason I'm bringing it up again is that if you're a commuter, especially in the Northwest where I live, you know, we get some pretty swampy, nasty days. And like right now, it's basically like freezing out. I think it's like 34 degrees. It was freezing earlier. Any amount of water in the air and you've got ice on the road. You really shouldn't be riding on ice, but if you're gonna do it, ABS and traction control sure is nice. Now you're on a naked sport bike, so well, what does that mean? You know, you're taking the brunt of the wind. It's not a big deal, but you know, you're gonna be punching the wind. And basically on any sport bike or naked, that's the case. On the sport bike though, you can sort of tuck down, and on this you can too, just fine actually. You just have to use yourself and your helmet as the aerodynamics. It's just easy to ride. Oh yeah, look at this. Nice. Woo. And the traction control just kicked in there because there was some gravel. So, you know, that's confidence inspiring. Okay, so through the turns, it feels good. The weight sits up like a sport bike. Woo! Nice blast of wind. It feels good. It's snappy, I would say. And the seat on the bike is really nice. It's wide, and I've got kind of a big butt, so I mean, it doesn't look big in jeans or anything. It looks flat in jeans, to be honest. That's probably off topic. Anyway, the seat is comfortable. The bike has a pillion. My wife won't ride it, I can guarantee you that. I don't even have to ask. It's a teeny tiny thing, and really, I think this bike is a single service. Okay, so we're gonna go nice and slow. I don't want to wheelie. Oh yeah, holy shit. That's fast. I don't know what the speed is on that, but I mean the time for the 0 to 60 or anything, but this bike is fast. And this is just the road version, so I want to give you guys something to think about with the road and RS, the R and the RS versions. So this bike, earlier I said that the RS has a higher peak torque, meaning you gotta rev the crap out of it, right? This bike gives you the torque nice down low. You lose just a little bit of horsepower from that, but you have the same torque number. So that means that around town riding, you're gonna have immediate access to that torque, and it feels really good. I love that about the Tigers, is that the torque is down low. You don't have to be, you know, strangling the neck of this thing. It just makes life easy, if you ask me. And if you said today, between these two bikes, you're gonna buy, first of all, I'm gonna buy a street triple. My options are this, and budget's not the issue. I would still pick the R. I would absolutely pick this bike. And just think of it like this. If it does come down to money, you can buy the R, and you can buy a wicked leather suit, you know, and boots, and a nice helmet, and nice gloves. These are winners, they're not nice, but you can get all your stuff, and it'll still be cheaper than switching up to the RS, potentially. So, by the way, guys, gear ain't cheap if you're new to riding. Okay, I want to do another fast run, guys. That was fun. Oh yeah, it's good. You know what's interesting, I guess, about this bike, and here's what I will say what this bike is. The bike is really a good commuter, but at the same time, it's really a dual purpose bike, because you're getting that commuting ability, and you're getting a sport bike. And it doesn't look so sporty that the cops are gonna single you out, but my god, this thing moves. I can only imagine the 1050. You know, you're getting, I said 116 horsepower. I'm not sure what RPM that kicks in, but I bet it's around 9,000, 8,000. It's just a joy to ride. I mean, so many of the Triumphs are anymore. The game has really been changed. So who is this bike for? Okay, and I don't mean commuter and sport guy. Who's this bike for? I would say this bike would be good for a person who likes to take weekend rides and trips, keeping in mind that long distance, it's not really a long distance bike, okay? Riding through the country, just taking a ride with your friends, that kind of thing. Now, you could take a long trip on anything, that's true. This bike really is for short distances, I think. On top of that level of ridership, well, it's just super easy to ride the thing. I think a beginner could ride this bike. I think an advanced rider would enjoy this bike, and it's got a lot of room for growth because of its ability. Its, you know, ability to really lean into the curves. And don't judge that based off of my riding. Go watch other videos of guys on the track with these things. They're killing it. The next question: yes or no, would I buy it? If I was looking for the bike for the reasons that I said in this video, yes, I would. It's easy to ride. It's very comfortable. It's fast. It looks good. You know, this is the crystal white paint job. you can only get that paint job on the R. You cannot get it on the RS. The RS has black and gray. They both look good, but I think that the white looks the best. I was told that in 2019, they're gonna have a white RS. Some other things that are relevant, updates to 2019, yeah, there will be some, but they're not going to change anything big. The big change for this bike was 2017 when it went to the 765, and they changed like the headlights and they changed a lot of the stuff, and now the 2018s have this nice TFT screen, so that you can expect the ability to update your existing 2018 to become a 2019 basically, so with more functionality and phone connection and things like that. I give this bike a buy. I think it's great. If this is what you're looking for, if you're in the market for a sporty weekend cruiser. As always, guys, if you have questions on this bike, please let me know. As long as they've got demos, I've got access, and I can always just go in and find out. So I want to, you know, it wouldn't be really a review if I didn't have any criticism. And this was not really a criticism of necessarily anything wrong with the bike, but I will say this. The size of everything on this bike isn't, you know, the best for me and my lanky 6'4". Though I'm a pretty feminine 6'4", you know, my legs are way up high. So, you know, bigger riders, it's not really I'm not uncomfortable. However, I would say there's a reason I ride the big adventure bikes. After all, it's ultimately is comfort in the long run. But that's it. I mean, the bike is smooth. It's awesome. Okay, guys, this is Drangus. I'm gonna leave it here. Come and just, if you don't believe me, come test ride one. How about that? So I'll leave it there. Please like and subscribe. I appreciate any support. It's just fun making these videos, man. Well, guys, later.